Most of us are just completely surrounded by noise every single day. Literally from the second we wake up to the moment we close our eyes. And I'm not talking about like construction work down the street. I'm talking about this relentless, invisible noise that is constantly begging for our attention. It's like modern life practically demands that every single second feels filled.
Just think about the constant barrage we face. Notifications, videos, music, messages, endless streams of conversations and screens everywhere. You're standing in line for coffee for, 30 seconds? And what do? You pull out the screen. We've basically built this environment where a quiet moment is treated like a problem that needs to be solved immediately. Which leads to a kind of uncomfortable question. Why are we so afraid of stillness? The moment a room gets quiet, we instantly reach for our phones. And it's not because there's an emergency, right? It's because our brains have actually become terrified of silence. Our nervous systems are stuck in this constant state of alert, always searching for the next input. And we literally never give our nervous system the peace it needs to just reset.
Look, the brain is simply not a machine that can run 24 hours a day without cooling down. It was never designed to process this endless volume of information nonstop. Imagine taking a really complex engine and redlining it, running it at top speed all day and all night. Eventually, it overheats, and human beings are no different. When we force our minds into this unending cycle of stimulation, the brain slowly forgets how to rest. So, let's look at the symptoms of mental fatigue and the very real toll this overstimulation takes on us. Mental fatigue isn't just, feeling a little sleepy. Clinically speaking, it's a deep mental tiredness. It's exhaustion characterized by real difficulty with concentration, memory, and just processing basic information. This is exactly why you can sit in a comfy office chair all day doing absolutely nothing physical and still come home feeling completely wiped out. The medical field actually tracks this exhaustion using the acronym SIGAPS to identify symptoms of low mood and depression that come from chronic stress. Look at these symptoms: major changes in your sleep, a total loss of interest in stuff you used to love, feeling intense guilt, tanked energy, shot concentration, even changes in your appetite. When your brain is drowning in noise, it literally starts shutting down its healthy functions. You might think you're just having a lazy week, but honestly, it could be your mind staggering under the weight of way too much input. A massive driver of this exhaustion is our daily diet of fast reward, fast entertainment, and fast dopamine. Short-form videos and endless feeds literally train your brain to expect a spike of excitement every few seconds. And because of that, slowly, normal life starts feeling impossibly slow. Deep thinking becomes a struggle. Studying feels like a massive chore. Your attention span shrinks because you've essentially trained your brain to reject anything that doesn't offer an instant reward. And this creates a very modern, very dangerous paradox: physical stillness versus mental exhaustion. Think about it. Your body might be sitting perfectly still on the couch, but your brain, it is running a marathon through 1,000 different concepts, arguments, and images. You aren't getting the physical release of exercise, but you are absolutely burning through your mental reserves. That's why you feel so tired despite doing nothing. Mental overload is very real. All right, so how do we fix it? Let's get into healing through stillness, the actual remedy for all this digital noise. I want you to imagine waking up and not immediately checking your phone. Imagine just walking outside and observing the world around you in pure presence. No podcasts, no screens, just letting your nervous system finally relax. Now, it might feel super uncomfortable at first, mostly because your brain has become completely dependent on that constant stimulation. But I promise you, pushing through that discomfort is the crucial first step to healing. Here's a really concrete tool for you: 30 minutes. Research shows that one of the best resets for a weary body is taking a short afternoon nap of under 30 minutes. It's basically a hard reset for your overheating mental engine. Just set a timer so you don't accidentally sleep the afternoon away, and give your brain permission to completely power down. Another fantastic way to break out of mental exhaustion is physical movement. When you break up long bouts of sitting with small bursts of activity, you literally force your brain out of its digital trance. So bust some moves, dance across the room, do 10 quick air squats, or just stand up and sit back down twice. It resets your physical body, which in turn hits the reset button on your mind. Moving right along, let's talk about reclaiming your attention with some actionable steps for recovery that you can use right now. One of the absolute most effective tools we have is right under our noses: our breath. Taking a breather using alternate nostril breathing is an incredible, proven way to reduce stress.
By physically slowing down your breathing rhythm, closing one nostril, breathing in, and switching over, you send a direct biological signal to your nervous system that it is safe to power down. It forces the brain to step off that frantic treadmill.
For a more structured approach, try the 4-7-8 method. It goes like this. You inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. You hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat that a few times. By doing this, you aren't just hoping to relax. You are using a mechanical, biological process to force your brain out of its noisy, stressed-out state. We also really need to change what our minds actually focus on when we finally do rest. Shifting your focus through a daily gratitude practice or a short meditation can completely counterbalance negative emotions. So instead of spiraling over all the stressful things that happened today, actively bring to mind things you appreciate. It builds emotional resilience and literally shifts the pathways your brain takes when it's idle. The whole goal here is to replace empty noise with fulfilling substance. Instead of endless doom scrolling, go learn something new. Dive into nature, astronomy, play some music, or pick up a new language. When you nurture your curiosity, you stimulate the mind in a really healthy, sustainable way. You open the door to actual, fresh conversations and reconnect with your personal values instead of just passively letting an algorithm dictate your thoughts. So remember this, silence is not empty. It's exactly where the brain heals. True peace doesn't usually come from downloading more self-care apps or buying more stuff to distract you. It comes from reducing the noise. Human beings were biologically designed to experience quiet. We need nature. We need stillness. We need real uninterrupted conversations. We have to remember that. Because ultimately, whatever controls your attention slowly controls your life. Let that sink in. Your attention is literally the most valuable currency you have. If you give it all away to a constant barrage of digital noise, you're giving away your peace, your focus, and your mental health. Protecting your attention is absolutely the best way to protect yourself. Which leaves us with one final, super vital question. What will you do with your attention tonight? I'm going to challenge you right now. Put the phone away for just a little while. Sit quietly. Let your brain finally breathe. Not every single moment needs to be filled with noise. Sometimes, real peace begins when the world finally becomes quiet again.